Without further ado, Dr. Charles King again, please.
I typically serve as an educator on the one side and as an industry consultant on the other. And when I do a consulting engagement with a company like YOR Health, I always do an assessment of the company to get a feel for what's going on. And I did that with Dennis, Sophia, with Michael, with Talisha, and we spent a lot of time on the long distance call getting a feel for the company. Now what I want to do in the next 15 minutes, and if I don't get off, they send the hook for me. In the next 15 minutes, I want to talk about my impressions as an overview of YOR Health. Now, in summary, I'm drawing on a lot of the material that we presented today because I knew it was going to be on the program. So I want to try to package this up for you to have some talking points, some factual credentials, not only about the industry you heard earlier, but about this company and its unique position within the industry. So let's move immediately. The first question is, what is this theme of this company? And I think it's been well delivered. You are what you absorb. I think that message has been clear. Did you get it? Yes. Every speaker has systematically gone down the line and talked about that issue. And I think it's been superbly presented. And there are some other behavioral dimensions. Number one, enzyme nutritional. The technologies are without question leading in the industry in that sector. Second, then we talk about openness. That has been a theme all day. And I think consistently as I look at the company, I look at their records, I look at the kind of information they're sharing with the distributor organization, they are in fact open, and they want you to be open as they move forward. And I think this attitude in this room has been outstanding, and I've been in hundreds of these meetings over the past 20 years, and this has been an outstanding event. The focus, wellness concepts, about life balance, best business practices, they're working very hard to make their organization the best it can be. Now another point, what is market positioning? Because that's my theme. How is this company positioned relative to the industry? Market positioning says we market specific products to specific target markets in unique and changing environments. And that's what we're doing right now. In 2 years' time, this company has positioned itself as a leader in the enzyme technology area. Absolutely outstanding. Now let's go to another decision. The way I talk about market positioning is to look at the functional areas of the firm. And this is the list of functional areas that I looked at through literature, through research information that they shared with me, they being the managers, and other interviews I had in the industry with people like in this audience. So bottom line, I did my homework, and these are my conclusions, looking at each of these facts. Now let's look first at the first one, which is company vision. To create one of the largest and most respected wellness companies in the world. When Dennis said that to me on the phone in our first introduction, I thought, that's very robust. That's a very, very big vision. And the more I talked with him, and the more I talked to the management team, the more realistic it was that he can achieve that in his area of specialization. There's no question this can be the leading company in enzyme technology in the country. Now the vision is the dream. The mission is how we're going to do it. And we essentially identified several very clear steps. Number one, be a wellness evangelist. Infect people with the concept of wellness, exercise, maintaining your lifestyle. Number two, focus on enzyme technology. That's clear. Number three, build balanced entrepreneurs. And you all are being encouraged to be balanced, which I like, because I worked for companies that were absolutely infected with making money and didn't really care about how they made it. And I dislike that. And this company is very balanced in terms of its entrepreneurial direction. And lastly, continued international growth. I think that's where an enormous opportunity lies, and Mexico is a great beachhead to begin. Now let's go to the next topic, target market focus. Now, wellness market, about $6.5 billion in the United States. We aren't sure what it is worldwide, but can be a multiple of that. So the bottom line, the market's strong. Number two, market booming, focus on wellness. And we talked about that from the physicians all day today, so I won't elaborate. Those specifics are there. Last point, the wellness market global, about 25 billion based on estimate. So is the market there? Absolutely. The target market is well focused. Now let's talk about the next point, sales performance. This is a winner. You can quote this, you can reference it, it gives the company enormous credibility. First, from 2008 to 2009, growth of 49%, you heard that. Then in 10, we're expecting to do 77%, and in 2010 to 11, growth forecast of roughly 100%. Now what do those numbers look like? Growth 100%, 500%, $500 million in 5 years. Does that make sense? Can you do it? That's the question. United States, Latin market, and Asia, the targets for international expansion. Very important. Now, people always ask me, how many of you read this curve of prosperity chart? I wrote this in Success magazine back in the early 80s, and that's the way I saw the industry. People are always asking themselves, where does my company stand? Are we at momentum yet? This company is on the verge of moving into momentum. When it moves into momentum, it starts that rapid growth, and I was very pleased when I did my analysis to conclude you're right at the cusp, right at the entrance to going into the momentum stage. And when you go into momentum, get back out of the way. The train is on the highway. Corporate culture. I was very interested. Every company has a culture, so I asked, tell me about your culture. And when I looked at the comments that were made, they all came together and said, emphasis on multicultural member relationships. Dennis said that's our most important platform, are our customers, our most important platform, our distributors. We are a family. And he repeated that word again and again and again, to the point that I thought he was giving me a sales pitch. But in reality, I look at what we see here today, it's on target. Dedicated to wholeness, a wellness approach, I think that's fantastic. Laser focused, using enzyme technology, no confusion about the direction of the company and where their research and development effort will be focused longer term. Excellent positioning. Now let's talk about the executive team. I always evaluate a company from the perspective, do you have the power, the muscle, the management capability to move the company forward? So I look at the team and analyze their individual skills. We have Dennis and Sophia, the founders, insightful to start the company in the first place. Number two, they have an in-house management team comprised of these individuals. Michael need not be said any more about. He's an outstanding leader, an outstanding speaker, an outstanding motivator, an outstanding trainer, and is responsible for training. I give him full marks for that. Second, Dan, who's been running this visual activity all day, has been flawless. Everything I've asked of him, he's provided, has unlimited capability. Then we have other members of the executive team, Doug and the other gentleman. I have not met him. The important thing is that the team is there to support you. And then we have the scientific board, all the other advisory groups. So you have strong power, and that group set will grow over time. More support, more visibility, more credibility. And now we look at the corporate IT capability. Again, outstanding. The important thing is this company is built on an 8-year history as a technology company. So a lot of the advantages you bring are advantages that were built over a long period of time, and you're in place with future growth expected in the technology capability. Corporate training, this is a star. I emphasize this with great enthusiasm and power. Number one, I think the issue is that Michael is an outstanding trainer. You've been seeing him all day. Secondly, as I look at the next issue, weekly training programs, and he outlined several of them in all the major markets where you have power. He then talked about regional, periodic, how to train, how to in fact sponsor, how to in fact develop customers. All that how-to content is essential. And then you begin to talk about the national events and international events in Latin America, Switzerland, following global growth. More training in those countries where we expand. In terms of quarterly regional events, you know about those. They're well organized, just like this one. And of course, the international events are as well organized as this. And so I understand based on the videos I've seen. So the bottom line is, I think the company is very well established with the strong power in the United States and Mexico. Now, the last point I want to make is that you have international opportunities. Enormous international growth. Let's look at what's been going on. These are the countries where you're already established. Of course, the United States and Mexico being dominant. Enormous opportunity for growth in all of those countries. The approach, build locally, identify leaders, and expand to their home countries. A very good model. And that produces this kind of a map. It's a graphic. You can expand in all those countries and just start playing ping pong. United States people sponsor friends and relatives in other countries. Those countries then sponsor back into this country, the ping pong effect, a very powerful tool, and you've got an excellent ping pong board in Mexico to come back to this country. And I'll talk about that in one more slide. Major expansion. The Hispanic market is a powerful opportunity for this company. The representation you have from Mexico here speaks for itself. These leaders have been outstanding, that have been recognized. They have power. And by the same token, this company can build on that group in Mexico and bring those people back to this country to talk to their relatives in Chicago. Looking at the Hispanics, there are subcultures all across the Hispanic operation. We have one of the largest multicultural universities in the Midwest, in Chicago. We have all of these. We have Mexicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominican Republic, and Central South America represented. And you can have access to all of that based on the platform you've already established. Enormous opportunity. Now this slide says it all. If you ping pong back from Mexico into the United States, you have one of the fastest growing market in this country, in the United States, the Hispanic market. And these are just some simple mind-boggling statistics. This Hispanic market in the United States will be the largest growth population in the entire country. It is growing every day. Income's going up, education going up, interest in entrepreneurialism in the Hispanic market. Absolutely unlimited. Everyone wants to get in business for themselves and cooperate and coordinate with their Hispanic friends and relatives. So my theme, you have enormous growth opportunity on the international sector. Now, as I close it down, staying on my time limit of 15 minutes, and I'm virtually there, and that is to say that as I look down all of these dimensions that I systematically analyzed to give you a fair evaluation of the company in which you're investing, I give the company A+. Great, thank you very much.